Bottom right. Now we have nobody. Okay. Yeah, I can bring it out. That's my goal. Take the notes. I'll bring one out.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Tuesday, April 20th City Council meeting. I now call this meeting to order. The pledge of allegiance and invocation to one desire will be by Vice Chair Ken Smith.
Please rise, face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Tonight we have the honor of having our new mayor with us. I'd like to invite him up to the podium for a word, if he would. And council, if you would, let's welcome our new mayor, Ken Smith.
Thank you very much. Briefly first, and I'll keep my remarks brief, I want to acknowledge the verdict that just got passed down in our office, at least. I know we were all stopped cold in our tracks to see if justice would be served. And today, at least, I think we can say that it was. As Martin Luther King Jr. said, of course, the moral arc of history is long, but it bends towards justice. And I think we saw that tonight and are grateful for it. And I know Chief Roddy is on the same page because I spoke with him about it. Still, we can't lose perspective that there was a life lost, and we have a lot more work to do, but I'm committed to doing that work alongside all of you and privileged for the opportunity to do so. So thank you for the acknowledgement, Mr. Chairman, and that was completely undeserved. I haven't actually done anything yet. So
that might be a good thing.
I really just want you all to know how excited I am to be working with all of you over the next 4 years and getting to know you better. We've got a lot of work to do and a lot of really important things to do. And this is the part, as I said many times through the campaign, that really, really excites me. I'm quite certain that we'll do a lot of things that will change the city forever and for the citizens of Chattanooga. And I'm looking really, really, really forward to it. So just know that I will never waste your time tonight or any other night. So I'll let you get back to your work, but I just want you to know that I'll be here anytime you need me in any capacity that you need me. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for being with us tonight. On a more somber note, we do have an administrator that will be joining us for the last city council meeting tonight. She has become a special friend, and I'm going to miss her dearly. Mr. Vice Chair, would you please bring in Miss Donna Williams? Good afternoon, Ms. Williams.
Hello, Mr. Chairman.
We are so sad to see you joining us for the last time tonight, but we certainly wish you well. And you've been a permanent fixture here for the past 8 years, someone we've depended on and leaned on for their wisdom and knowledge. And you've done us a great job. And I just want to commend you for the job that you have done, for the role that you fulfilled. And I'm sure there'll be other council people that would like to chime in as well, but I wanted to give you just a moment to any last words that you would like to leave with us.
Well, first of all, I join you in welcoming Mayor Kelly. Very excited to have him as the next mayor leading Chattanooga forward. I also want to welcome the new council members. Thank you for your service. I joke with our city council members from time to time to say this will be the closest overtime job you'll ever have that's part-time. So get ready for a lot of hard work. Also know that you have extremely talented, educated, and experienced staff there here at the city, still here at the city at every level. So I just thank you all for the council members that I've worked with for the last 8 years and some for the last 4 years. Thank you for your service. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I'm not foolish enough to know that politics don't include politics, but I can say for certain that this council has put the constituents first, and it has shown dividends, and there will be more dividends to be seen from the work that you've done. So thank you for allowing me to serve the city.
And thank you. Councilman Ledford.
Donna, we've known each other a long time, long before we both were serving our community through the city. And I just want to wish you the best. I've learned a tremendous amount from you over the last 4 years, sitting in this position and working alongside of ECD. And I just want you to know that thank you, number one, for your service to not only our city, but our entire city and county. I mean, the efforts that you have put forth and your staff and the stories that we have heard have been absolutely, well, just very driven in the spirit that I know that you have in your heart for others. So you're my friend. You've been with my friend for a long time, and I look forward to you outside of the city. And just know that I'm always here for you. I got your back.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
All right. Ms. Williams, I'm not seeing any other hands. Please know that you will be missed, but God bless you on your next adventure.
Thank you very much.
Oh. They've all decided now to chime in. Councilman Byrd.
Real quick, sis, I love you so much. You're so amazing. Just thanks for all the hard conversations, the education you gave me, and get me through that 4 years that I was here. And I just really appreciate it. I'm going to lean on you some more in the next 4 years. So don't change your phone number, because I need to talk to you so much. But just thanks for everything, Don. I respect you as a woman. I respect you as just your brain. I respect everything about you. And I just look forward to seeing the great things you do. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Councilwoman Coonrod.
Man, Councilman Byrd took the words right out of my mouth, because I just told Ms. Donna the exact same thing. But it's been a great pleasure having the opportunity to work with you on this end. Like we sat at many tables talking about the community, and before I even was a council person, the jewels that you deposited into me, I most definitely hold those to heart. I treasure those things. And you were transitioning from prison. You was the first Black woman that I saw in Chattanooga that was doing positive things in the community, and real estate was that one thing and that connection. And I looked at how you were able to mobilize different groups of people and provide them with home ownership opportunities to help build wealth. I watched how you no matter the person that you encountered, you always showed them how they can be their very best, and you helped them formulate a plan to execute that plan. And I appreciate you for you being a vessel for me to help me execute my best self. I thank you for that. I know you're only a phone call away. You don't hesitate to answer my phone call or respond to any emails, and you've been more than a friend to me. And I appreciate you believing in me even when I wanted to give up and couldn't see the vision for myself. I really appreciate you. You showed me when the best time to plant an oak tree, and I planted those seeds, and I watched those trees begin to grow. So again, thank you, Miss Donna.
Thank you. My pleasure.
All right, council. Anybody else? Okay, Ms. Williams, I think this time it's for real.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Appreciate it.
Thank you for being with us.
My pleasure.
All right, Mr. Vice Chair, you can excuse our guests. Now moving into your order of business, could I get a motion on the minutes, please?
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to approve the minutes with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford, Councilman Hester,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dotley,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod, Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson.
Yes,
That's 9 yeses.
the ayes have it. Next on your agenda is the election of officers for your city council. At this time, I will now open the floor for nominations for the chair. Councilwoman Burrs.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think this is a really exciting time for us to be working together and for the new administration. I think continuity is really important as we go through a number of changes. So I would like to nominate you as chair. Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor with a proper second. Councilwoman Dotley.
I had a question about the nominations as far as the criteria for chair and vice chair. Could you explain that a little bit as we go into this vote?
Could you be, when you say the criteria for chair, obviously, I mean, you would have to be a sitting council member. Other than that, it's really up to this body who they would like to nominate at that point.
So there are no like year guidelines as far as being a first year? Kind of first
No,
year?
ma'am. Would you like to be
No,
nominated
no.
for chair?
No.
No.
I was just asking just as far as criteria is concerned.
Sure.
There
No,
is-
anybody sitting up on this dais can be nominated for a chair or vice chair position.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Do we have any other nominations for chair at this time? Nominations will be closed. We'll now take a roll call vote. Madam Clerk?
Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford, Councilman Hester,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dotley, Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod,
I thought about it now. Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes.
9 yeses.
So the motion for nomination is approved, and you will be stuck with me for the next year for your chair. Thank you, council, for your trust and in my ability and leadership. And I promise Councilwoman Burrs that I would not embarrass her for this next year. So I'll do my best, ma'am. All right, at this time, I will open the floor for nominations for vice chair. Councilman Byrd.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to say thank you definitely for your leadership, and it's been a pleasure definitely working with you. And for Vice Chair, I say, why break up the team? I think we have a good thing going, and I would like to nominate Ken Smith for Vice Chair.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to nominate Ken Smith for Vice Chair. We have a second. Councilwoman Coonrod.
Oh, I was gonna second, but I think I want to nominate myself. No, I second it.
Don't mess with me right now, Councilwoman.
You know I gotta stir the pot.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to elect Ken Smith as our vice chair with a proper second. Is there any other nominations from the floor? Do I have a second?
Second.
Nominations are now closed. Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford, Councilman Hester,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dotley,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
9 yeses.
Mr. Vice Chair, sounds unanimous. You are our new vice chair.
Thank you, council. I will do my best to make sure that Chairman Henderson does not embarrass himself during this next year.
Yes.
I appreciate that, sir.
Much appreciated.
All right, moving on. We now come to ordinances on final reading. Council, if there are no objections, I would like to take and bundle planning items 6A through E, if there's no objection from the council. Councilman Ledford?
No, sir, I was going to make the motion for you on your item number 1, but you bundled them.
Okay. Madam Clerk, would you please read planning items 6A through E, please?
Yes. Item A, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone properties located in the 600 block of West View Road from RT1 residential townhouse zone to R1 residential zone. Item B, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone part of a property located in the 6100 block of Highway 58 from R1 residential zone to C2 convenience commercial zone, subject to certain conditions. Item C, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone properties located at 2500 Coward Street in the 2500 block of William Street and in the 200 block of West 26th Street from R3 residential zone to UGC urban general commercial zone, subject to certain conditions. Item D, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone property located at 2203 Milne Street from R1 residential zone to R2 residential zone. Item E, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone property located at 2218 Bailey Avenue from R2 residential zone and UGC urban general commercial zone, subject to certain conditions.
Councilman Ledford, followed by Councilwoman Coonrod. Councilwoman Burrs, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Move approval.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor for items 6A through E with a proper second. Any questions or comments before we vote? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford, Councilman Hester,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs, Councilwoman Dotley,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod, Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
9 yeses.
motion carries 9-0. Madam Clerk, if you would now, 6F, please.
An ordinance closing and abandoning an unopened sewer easement located in 300 block of Tremont Street as detailed on the attached map, subject to certain conditions.
Councilwoman Hill, followed by Councilman Ledford.
Thank you. As discussed in our agenda meeting, I have some unanswered questions about this project overall. And because it is really important within District 2 and specifically within the neighborhood, I think it's important that I have a little more time to really understand the history and the future of this project. So I'd like to make a motion to defer it for 2 weeks until the week of 5/3, at which point we could have the final reading.
Ma'am, are you referring to May the 5th?
Yes.
I mean, I'm sorry, May the 4th.
Well, week of 5/3, so May the 4th.
May the 4th, okay. So we have a motion on the floor to defer until May the 4th with a proper second. Any questions or comments before we vote? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Coonrod, Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dotley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs, Councilman Hester,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford, Councilwoman Hill, Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
9 yeses.
so moved. We have no ordinances on first reading this afternoon. Moving now to resolutions. Madam Clerk, if you would, with no objections from the council, I would like to take 8 A through C, please.
Item A, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Economic and Community Development to award up to $40,000 per house for a total amount up to $120,000 in home program funding to Habitat for Humanity to assist with the new construction of 3 affordable homeowner units located at the following addresses: 239 Canary Circle, 305 West 37th Street, and 3410 Kirkland Avenue. Item B, a resolution to increase purchase order number 551611 Unum by $120,000 to cover employee group life insurance and supplemental life premiums through fiscal year 2021 for a total purchase order not to exceed $698,000. Item C, a resolution authorizing the police chief to accept $89,107 from the Department of Justice Office of Justice Programs for the 2020 JAG grant.
Councilwoman Burrs.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve items 8A through C with a proper second. Any questions or comments before we vote? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill. Councilman Ledford. Councilman Hester.
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs. Councilwoman Dotley.
Yes.
Councilman Byrd.
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod. Vice Chairman Smith.
Yes.
Chairman Henderson.
Yes.
9 yeses.
Motion to approve 8A through C carries 9-0. Now moving to purchases. Council, if you would pull out your purchase items this afternoon. Mr. Vice Chair, if you'd bring in Tony Salmons, please.
On his way.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, Mr. Salmons.
Good evening, Mr. Chair and members of council. We have a few purchase items for your approval, along with one emergency purchase under the mayor's declaration. Starting with the purchases, first, from the Waste Resource Division of Public Works, we have ground maintenance, pump stations, and CSOs being awarded to Special Touch Lawn Care in an amount of $40,000. Next, we have from the Department of Information Technology, technology products, services, solutions, and related products and services being awarded to Insight Public Sector Incorporated for an estimated annual cost of $1,500,000. And the last item, also from the Waste Resource Division of Public Works, we have Lab Equipment Services Plan being awarded to Perkins Elmer Health Sciences Incorporated for an estimated annual cost of $14,883. And that concludes the new purchases for this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Salmons. What's the pleasure of the council?
Approval.
We have a motion on the floor to approve tonight's purchases with a proper second. Any questions or comments before we vote? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Coonrod. Councilman Byrd. Councilwoman Dotley.
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs. Councilman Hester.
Yes.
Councilman Ledford. Councilwoman Hill. Vice Chairman Smith.
Yes.
Chairman Henderson.
Yes.
9 yeses.
So moved. Now moving to committee reports. Council, as everybody understands, with a new administration comes a reorganization of all of our departments. I have spoken to the administration and they have assured me, Mr. Goldberg, that by the end of May, we will have all of our departments into place. And rather than I think at this time appointing a bunch of committees and then having to reassign, I would like to wait until we have all of our departments in place to appoint at least the most of the committee chairs. There are a few that I think we could move forward with that are functions of the council. One is budget and finance. And at this time, I'd like to appoint Councilwoman Burrs to our budget and finance committee as a budget and finance committee chair so that she can begin working with the administration, planning dates and bring in the sessions to council. Also, planning and zoning continues. And I would like to appoint Councilman Ledford to that committee as chair so that he can continue to attend the planning and zoning meetings each month. And then legislative committee is a function of the vice chair. So Mr. Vice Chair, you will be handling legislative committee. And as soon as we have the reorganization of our departments, I'll assign each council member a chair over those departments. Mr. Vice Chair, I think also earlier in the day, we did talk about some legislation that needed to be brought forth on the Juneteenth. So if you could go ahead and schedule that committee meeting, sir, so that we could hear that. And then I think also our open spaces master plan as well.
All right. Are you okay, Mr. Chair, if we go ahead and schedule that for next week?
I am.
That committee?
Yes, sir.
I would like to have it next week. And the ordinance that you mentioned specifically, the Juneteenth ordinance, that is something that this council has discussed a number of times. I do want to give our new colleagues an opportunity to read it and ask questions if they would like. But I am interested in moving it along to the agenda as soon as possible. So if we can get that scheduled next week, that would be great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Salmons.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry to interrupt.
We have
We did have one emergency purchase. Yes. Sorry
Well, at
about
least I didn't excuse you and then bring you back like
we do have one emergency purchase that's under the mayor's emergency declaration, and that is from the Department of Economic and Community Development. It's for additional dollars needed for hotel and food for the emergency relocation of our residents of the Patton Towers. It's for, as mentioned, various hotel locations and for Cracker Barrel Old Country Store Incorporated. This emergency purchase request is for a total not to exceed $76,000. Again, being utilized, we're utilizing the Red Cross's existing vendors. This will enable us to ensure the continuity of the services and there's a minimal disruption to those that have been displaced. And to break that down a little bit more, we will not exceed $64,000, which will be for hotel expenses. And for food, we will not exceed $12,000. Again, that total amount is for $76,000. All of this being related under COVID.
Thank you, Mr. Salmons. Any questions for Mr. Salmons? Councilwoman Coonrod, is that for something else? Okay. All right. All right. Thank you, Mr. Salmons.
Thank you.
Mr. Vice Chair, you can excuse our guest. We will not leave him hanging. All right. Any questions about committee reports or committee assignments at this time? Councilwoman Coonrod. Yes, ma'am. Councilwoman, any objections to a co-chair? Okay. All right. We'll have some discussion and we'll get back. Okay. All right. Now moving on to other business, we have a report on debt obligations and from the Interceptor sewer. Madam Burrs, is that, or Councilwoman Burrs, is that Miss Daisy going to give that report?
Yeah, this is something that we do require to do.
Right.
So this is just a performance thing.
Okay. Mr. Vice Chair, would you bring in Miss Daisy Madison, please? Good evening, Miss Madison.
Hello,
Can you hear us?
I can. Uh,
We are ready for a report on debt obligation on the city Interceptor sewer system.
Okay, that is an information report that is required by the state of Tennessee for any debt that is issued by a public entity. And it essentially gives basic information about the debt, like the face value of the debt, the term of the debt, the interest rate on the debt, the amount of the cost of issuance, and things of that nature. And it's just an annual, a one-time report that is required whenever we issue debt. And in this case, this relates to two debt issuances for the Interceptor sewer system consent degree program with the state revolving loan fund. And the amounts are 30 and 15 million for a total of 45 million.
Okay. Any
Thank you,
questions?
sir.
I'm sorry,
I just said, thank you, sir.
Councilwoman Coonrod.
Oh, no, that's old. I thought you took that.
I'm sorry.
You can take that off. That was for previous.
Okay. All right. Any questions for Miss Madison on our debt report? All right. Thank you, Miss Madison.
Thank you.
Mr. Vice Chair, you can excuse our guest. All right, Mr. Attorney, it's my understanding that we need to announce a settlement in a lawsuit.
Yes, sir. We were engaged in mediation on Friday of last week in the case of Masterson versus the city of Chattanooga. The Charlotte, North Carolina tourist case did not settle in that portion of the case, but the claims against the city settled in that matter for the sum of $50,000 from the city and $50,000 from EPB. And we will be resolving that case at this point in time.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. All right, Councilwoman Coonrod,
Is this where you want me to make the,
IDB appointment, please. Oh, you, you got one for, okay, hold on one second.
okay.
Councilman Byrd, is this for Phil? Go ahead, sir.
Yes, Phil, during the conversation that we had about the lawsuit that was coming up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I guess the aspect of that is people that are utilizing our streets for, I guess, pay in that regard should have some type of license for that and some type of insurance for the city. And we currently have that for the personal vehicle for hire here in the city for a number of things, but it did not include the Segway units. And we will prepare legislation for you on that. Anything that is on the streets on there. Sometimes we sort of have to see it out there to know what it is, because who would have thought that we would have had people drinking beer and pedaling on the road? Yeah. All right.
Mr. Vice Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Phil, just to be clear, this settlement clears the city of all future obligations.
Yes, sir.
We're clear. The case can move forward against Segway, for example, but the city is clear with this settlement.
Yes, sir. We're completely out of the case.
Thanks.
And that will be a jury trial as to the Segway folks.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Councilman Ledford.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Phil, the legislation that Councilman Byrd and I will be sponsoring to indemnify the city, will that avoid a future incident such as this, number one?
Yes, sir. We will try to do that. Yes.
Okay, number two, why didn't we already have it in place? But I digress. Number three, can the city look into, when applying for a business license, that the proper indemnification policies are in place? Because this just cost us $50,000.
The state of Tennessee has got specific regulations on how business licenses are issued. If we have a specific regulation for the type of business, I think we can do that and just require them to have a license here in the city to operate, just like any other personal vehicle for hire does in the city.
I think we should look at that and try to do a much better job before issuing a business license with this kind of liability.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Any other questions on our settlement? Councilwoman Coonrod. Okay. We have a nomination for Carrie Hayes for IDB with a proper second. That does require a council vote. Any questions or comments before we vote? Madam Clerk, would you give us a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Hill. Councilman Ledford. Councilman Hester.
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs. Councilwoman Dotley.
Yes.
Councilman Byrd. Councilwoman Coonrod. Vice Chairman Smith.
Yes.
Chairman Henderson.
Yes.
9 yeses.
Motion carries 9-0. Madam Clerk, would you make sure that Mr. Hayes is contacted?
Yes.
Thank you, Councilwoman Coonrod. All right, I think that concludes other business. We now come to recognitions of persons wishing to address the council at this time. It's my understanding from Vice Chair Smith that there has been no one register online. But if we have someone here in the audience that would like to address the council tonight, would you please, at one at a time, come forward? Oh, yes, there you go. Use that now. And would you, well, before you start, I guess I need to get the attorney to read our rules to engage the council.
Yes, sir. The council has adopted rules regarding speaking at the end of each meeting. You have to come up to the podium here to be recognized or else be recognized online, so you're fine. You need to at least provide your name and council district when you talk so they know where you live on there. You can't have more than 3 minutes to speak, and you can only address the council upon matters within their legislative and quasi-judicial authority and not upon matters that are under the authority of other governmental agencies. Don't use the podium here to use any vulgar or obscene language, and please address your comments to the council as a whole and not towards individual council members, sir. And having said that, you can go and follow those rules.
Before you start, Mr. IT, would you give us 3 minutes on the clock, please? Go ahead.
Good afternoon. I'm not as great as the city council. Congratulations on all y'all elections. My name is Antonio Boston, 2805 North Chamberlain, Chattanooga, Tennessee, 37406. I'm a businessman here in the city of Chattanooga. I'm running before the council, Phil Nobby, the city attorney. I've been talking to him. I lost a lot of money dealing with the city of Chattanooga and the taxi board. I have 2 or 3 taxes out here that was not amended during the COVID-19 during the Chattanooga Police Department because they got one person that's over every cab in Chattanooga, Tennessee. My family has struggled a loss. I got a business. I own a cab company here. The city has not acknowledged my ownership of Mercury Cab. I bought 50% of the cab company, and the taxi board is doing nothing. Nobody's doing nothing about it. I don't lost. I got right here. I got something for each one of y'all. Got a lawsuit that I won from Mercury Cab. I have my license. I got a license for my cab. I got each one of y'all can have. Y'all can read. We need to do better by the taxi board. Very business. I've been in business on here for years. I bring a lot of money I bring almost $1 million to the city of Chattanooga a year on events. I bring all the big shows to Chattanooga. I use the hotels. We bring a lot of money here. I got a $500,000 show will be here September 18th and 19th in the city of Chattanooga. CNN is covering that. And I just want to be treated better. And I'm hurting right now because I spent a lot of money from 2018 to now. It's my first time coming in front of council. If y'all can advise Mr. Noblin, had Miss Melinda Foster, which is the assistant deputy attorney, to do her job. She did not do her job. She took my file and threw it behind her desk. She did not call me back. And she was authorized by the city attorney to take care of this situation. I appreciate the attorney. He called me back. He kept calling. It's not his job. He put people to work in his attorney's office to call me back, and they didn't do their job. They failed. I lost more than $50,000 to $100,000 between now and 2018 dealing with the city of Chattanooga. And I just want y'all to have this. Y'all can look at it. And I know I don't have that much time. And I didn't know it was 9 of y'all, but I got some papers here. I want each one of y'all to look at. It's my license, my insurance, and it's my obligations. Everything is certified. And I just want to get back on the road and have my family back happy again.
Okay, if you would just leave them right there on the podium, and we will collect those as soon as the meeting is over, and we can distribute it into each person's mailbox.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Hold on one sec. Councilman Byrd? Did you? Yeah, that's another level. Mr. Goldberg, do we have someone that could get with this gentleman and maybe give him some directions? Okay. Can he just get with you initially? Do you mind getting with Mr. Goldberg and let's see what we can do? Thank you, Councilman. All right, sir.
Thank you, Council. My name's Monty Bell. I'm the homeless journalist, the gray-haired fox, one of the rival candidates for the office of the mayor. Congratulations, first of all, to the new faces here. Councilman, I think Hill and the rest of you, our time is short. Congratulations, also congratulations to our new mayor. When I lost my first $1 million back in 1992, the Black community thought it was a joke. And then I lost another $1 million in 1995, and the millions kept on going down, down, down to where I'm now homeless. Before the council tonight, and unfortunately, after tonight, I won't be able to address you all for another 30 days, but our dilemma still continues. The last time I was here was last week, I think the 13th, and we addressed the homeless dumpster. We addressed the homeless porta potty. We addressed the city's bags, which we still don't have. I was told by District 8 representative, of course, I can't address him as an individual, but as a council, I want to know if the meeting that I had with a dumpster company, which is a local company on yesterday, and a porta potty company, which is a local company, I met with them both on yesterday. And I was informed that the agreement to get a dumpster to our 11th Street homeless site would only be about $339 to get those dumpsters out there for 90 days. I was told by the council last week that you all could not find a local company to provide the services. I want to know from you tonight, what can I take back to the 11th Street encampment, having informed them that, hey, just a $339 investment from the city versus spending monies to Eastridge or any other city that's not the city of Chattanooga, and certainly doesn't include the homeless. And by the way, this is the third fire that you all have experienced, so have I, with the Patton Towers. And they seem to keep jumping in front of the homeless with whatever you all plan to do with some monies that's been allocated for the homeless. I'd really appreciate it if, Mr. Attorney, when you call me in reference to the challenge, which is one of the qualifications, having a fixed address to get our stimulus money. You know, they tried to disqualify me from running for the office of the mayor because of not having a fixed address. Now we hear in the media, which never comes to cover our location, certainly they won't ask for me. Can we, starting tomorrow, Mr. Attorney, can we get you to get somebody to call us?
Address any person
This is the city attorney, Mr. Chair. I understand that. He's not a part of the council.
Do not address any specific person up here.
May I finish?
Unless the council would permit you more time, your time is up, sir.
Okay, we'd like to get the bags.
Mr. Bell, thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman Byrd.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Chair, and to the young man, Mr. Monty, me and Ms. Mora, we plan to meet this week to talk about this. And I also have to have a meeting with the Homeless Coalition Friday to address the issues that he's talking about. And we are definitely on it and definitely have empathy and understand what's going on. And it is time consuming and should have it done years ago, but it is in progress. And with the new administration, we will be getting this done as soon as possible, but I will meet with them Friday.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Byrd. Anyone else from the audience that would like to address the council this afternoon, would you please come forward? Council, I am not seeing anyone wanting to address the council. What is the pleasure of the council?
Move to adjourn.
Adjourn.